What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and a little while has passed since we got the news that Gabby Petito's parents were filing a lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's parents. I think all of us that have been following this story were super excited about this news. We've all been waiting to hear the response from Brian Laundrie's parents. Like, how do they feel about this? What would they say about this? Well, now we get a response, and as expected, Brian Laundrie's parents are filing to dismiss the civil lawsuit filed against them by Gabby Petito's family. And Stephen Two-Tex Bertolino issued a little statement. I want to go ahead and read it here for you all. A motion to dismiss the baseless and frivolous lawsuit commenced by Gabby Petito's parents was filed in court. The Laundries have exercised their constitutional right to refrain from speaking and have relied on counsel to speak for them. This is not only a common practice in our civilized society, but it embodies the exercise of fundamental rights under the United States and Florida constitutions. The Laundries' rights are inalienable, and the Laundries can never be liable for exercising their legal rights in a permissible way. Myself and my colleagues at Tremblay and Haynes, who are representing Chris and Roberta Laundrie in this matter, are confident that the constitutional rights of all citizens of this country will be protected by the dismissal of this lawsuit. Woo! I mean, of course, we couldn't expect them to take it laying down. I try not to be the most sensitive person in the world, but this is a very sensitive topic. And you kind of wish that the Laundries and the Laundries lawyer would word things in a different way. I mean, your son killed these people's daughter, and you're saying that this lawsuit is baseless and it's frivolous and all this, that, and the third. I mean, show some sympathy for the fact that your son murdered their child, you know? But there's no sympathy there. It's almost as if they're just acting like the Petitos are just out of their freaking mind for even thinking about doing this. And I get it. I mean, they're not just going to take it laying down and just accept defeat in the lawsuit and pay up whatever they want to pay and all of that. I understand that they have to defend themselves in the court of law, but damn if it doesn't give you even a badder taste in your mouth for the Laundries. I think that we've all been trying to scrub them out of our mind because they are so filthy. I have never hated, I don't want to say hate. Hate's a strong word. I have never felt so strongly about someone that I have never heard speak before in my life until now. Because remember, we haven't heard these people talk yet. They haven't said anything. And once again, he's basically saying that they're going to sit back and allow other people to talk for them. Because they know they can't say anything. They know how wrong they are. That's a sign of guilt. Now, I get it. You don't want to say too much, but come on, anyone else in this situation would have had their voices heard by now. The fact that they still try to remain so quiet, it just tells a lot about who they are and about the fact that they probably think that they would get themselves caught up in something even if they did talk. Now, an attorney for Gabby Petito's family was asked about the potential evidence that they have to back up the major allegations made in the lawsuit against the Laundries. And they replied saying, they'll have to wait and see. If we didn't believe it was true, we wouldn't have put them in the complaint. So basically, I've been telling you all this whole time. This lawsuit made several allegations against the Laundries that we have not heard about yet. In order for them to make those allegations, I would think that they have some type of evidence to back it up. Otherwise, it's just words. You're just, hey, that person did this. And I mean, while that could be true, you want to have some type of evidence to back up your claims, especially in this type of a lawsuit. So I've been making it clear since this lawsuit was filed that I believe that Gabby Petito's family and their lawyers have some information and have some evidence that we don't know about yet. And they're keeping it close to them, and it will be revealed in this lawsuit once it goes to court and things of that nature. Now, there are so many details, and I think this is proof from this lawsuit that we don't know yet, It's going to get really interesting. And I can't wait to hear and see what type of evidence that they have to back up these claims. But I don't know how, if they don't have some solid evidence here, I don't know how these charges will hold up against them. Because, like Bertolino said, he did make a point. It's still their right not to say anything. It's their right to remain silent, correct? Now, while that may be morally wrong and make them look bad, under the eyes of the law, it's a totally different thing. But I still think that they should have been arrested for helping and abetting like a criminal or whatever the hell the charges is. But of course they weren't. But when Bertolino acts like this case, that they got to throw out this case in order to protect the constitutional rights of all citizens in the world, all citizens in America must be protected by y'all throwing out this lawsuit, that's just totally far out there. Okay? That's far out there. Throwing out this lawsuit does nothing to protect anyone in America. Throwing out this lawsuit does a lot, or I think it would do a lot of harm in many ways, because it gives people, or it shows people that you could get away with things like this without having to deal with anything, with any consequences. And I think that's dangerous. A lot of people have been watching this case. A lot of people have been watching it play out. And if they watch it play out in a way where the Laundries not only walk away scot-free on a legal side, legally, but they also can't even be sued for some of the things they did if they just walk away like champs in this situation. Like, they didn't have to deal with anything. They didn't have to deal with any consequences for what they did or lack of what they did. And I think that could be more dangerous for our society as opposed to, the Laundrie's lawsuit not getting thrown out. And that looks bad on all of our civil rights. Like, fuck that. Sorry for the language. But all in all, this is something that I was expecting. It's not a big surprise to me. Of course they were going to try to do this. But I'm worried. I'm a little bit worried about how this is going to work out. I would be lying to you all if I said that I was fully confident that this case will go in the Petito's favor. Now, obviously, it won't go against the Petitos. The Petitos really don't have anything to lose here. So my focus in this case, or in this lawsuit, is going to be on the Laundries, because the Petitos have nothing to lose here. They already lost the number one thing, their daughter. And of course, the Laundries lost their son as well, but their son is the one responsible for the loss of the Petito's daughter. So if anyone has anything to lose here, it's the Laundries. And they don't have much left to lose either, because how can you look even worse than you already do? But I'm sure there's some evidence out there that can make them look worse. But I want to know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. How do you think this lawsuit will go? Do you think it will work out in the Petito's favor, or do you think this will get dismissed? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and as always, find some time out of your day to go watch a movie.